Uh, Hello to you. Hello, mic check. Hey, 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 hey. Yo, hello, hello, yo, yo, yo. Fuck this shit, man. Fuck this shit, man. Hey, wait, what the fuck? I cannot listen to everyone. Yeah. What? Fuck. Oh, my mic is really low, huh? So that's why I don't listen to a lot. Wait, how high is my mic again? Wait, how high is my mic again? 250. Oh, okay. My audio is around 100, right? So that's how I do it. So yeah, people can listen to me right now. Fuck, dude, I don't know. I cannot sleep though. So yeah, this game died and they made it free. Shit. Oh my god. What the fuck you gonna do today? Should watch some. Ah, god. Yo, I don't know what song. Yo, I don't know what song.
なんだよな。
Wait, what? Hey, why you do that? Oh, oh. Yo, RIP to my homie. I don't know. I don't know. Cause people like fuck up a lot.
夏の炎で風呂を超高温にしてもらうんだ。
ビッグおっぱいです。
カクカクしかじか。
もうなんで堂々と女湯に。
Damn, there's ice.
行くぞ狩人の湯沸かし
Oh,
On the bright side, at least you won't have to shave for a while.
hey.
On the bright side, at least you won't have to shave for a while.
Dude, I look it. I don't know. You wanna watch it? How fast you can get?
Body odor.
In Elden Ring, there is a lot of different goals set out for the Tarnished, you know. Some people see the main goal as restoring order to the lands between, or maybe restoring the Elden Ring, perhaps even becoming the Elden Lord. However, I would argue that there is a larger goal at hand. A quest that was conjured and orchestrated by the masterminds at FromSoft and Miyazaki himself in order to teach us a very valuable lesson. One so important that it was introduced to us right at the beginning of the game. Of course, I'm talking about getting laid. From the very moment we step foot in the lands between, we are called maidenless multiple times, you know, by Vare and even Melina. The game makes it extremely clear that our character, the Tarnished, is a pathetic loser that has no game, has never felt the warmth of a woman, and lays no pipe. Now you might be thinking to yourself, you know, why would the game tell us all this? Why is everyone bullying my character? Well, it's pretty simple really. They want us to know that we need to go touch some grass. We need to go after the warmth of a woman. Now, unsurprisingly, I believe that this message has been overlooked by the majority of the Elden Ring community, so I thought I'd go ahead and bring more awareness to this topic. So, just the other day on Twitch, twitch.tv/scumnut, I took it upon myself to complete the Herculean task that is speedrunning getting laid in Elden Ring. That's right. I completed the Elden Ring getting laid any percent run. Yeah, I need like a maidenless man. Someone who looks very maidenless. That's what a starving man sounds like. You hear that shit?
Sounds like a virgin. You a
He
virgin?
has blue balls.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's why he's all blue. That's actually perfect for the lore. He hasn't touched a maiden in so long that his blue balls spread throughout his entire body, making him blue. Here, we're going with Bernie. There you go. We got Bernie blue balls. Oh my god. I just thought of how perfect this is. He's blue, just like Ronnie. Oh my god. They're meant to be. It's time. Let's go. All right. Hold on. Wait for it. Wait for it. Boom. Let's go. Let's go.
Oh, this is
It's time. Fuck, I need to get this shit. I think I needed that, right? We did need that, right? I didn't just lose time because of that. Already fucked up. Don't worry, it won't matter. Ain't nobody else gonna do this run. There's no way. Now this is world record pace right here. Just wait till I take the armor off so you can really see how hungry this. You can't do it while you're jumping. Crazy. You did your magic playthrough with Moonveil? No way, bro. That's crazy. I never heard of that before. What the fuck?
How do you? Oh my god, the virgin is strong. Our virgin.
Out of my way, Vare. I'm getting
Bye-bye.
maidens. I don't need you to fucking tell me that shit.
Dead.
Alright, we're gonna go straight to Melina.
Oh.
The rock just made me lose time. I can't believe this shit.
Jump.
That jump right there, that just saved us like a whole second. Why is he so goddamn ugly? This is Ronnie's
God.
future husband you're talking about. Watch your fucking mouth. How dare you?
It's a perfect.
Why do you think he has
description
blue
of a virgin.
balls? Leave him alone, man. Jesus.
Damn, the virgin
Give him some
really-
fucking slack.
is really power there.
Oh my god. Yo, this is going so fucking well. We're only 3 minutes in and we're already here.
So what the fuck you mean? Right here.
This is definitely world record right here. This is the run.
Last question.
Dude, three minutes to get to Melina. That's fucking world record pace.
Oh.
Shut up, Melina. You're not the maiden I want.
Hey, who's
I need
that?
a blue woman like me. I should have called this split Soldier of Godric. Fuck. Missed opportunity. Yeah, so we need Bloody Slash because that's what it takes to get a woman. Alright, you need
Oh.
to do some devious things like become a blood user. It just has to be that way. You have to make
Oh.
sacrifices. I probably lost a bit of time right there. I was going straight for the church and not Fort Height. Don't worry though, you know, it's still world record pace, I'm sure. Dr. Proctor? No, he's out of town. If Dr. Proctor was here, this run wouldn't be happening. Why do you think Bernie has blue balls? It's that goddamn
damn.
Dr. Proctor, bro. He keeps taking all the bitches.
Someone have 4 minutes. Oh, that's a.
We have to get this quit out too.
Oh, that's a.
Got a de-aggro.
Out. Out.
Oh my god, you saw that shit? That was like minus
Oh.
5 whole seconds right there.
Oh, this.
This is impossible. How's he doing this? He's as fast as Radagon.
I'm saying. Oh my god.
Don't worry, still world record pace. We're chilling.
Dude, nobody get it.
Look at that, outsmarted. Bleed him? Bleed him? Yo, bleed build overrated. The fuck is this?
And
Oh god. Oh my god. That was close.
oh,
World record pace right there, bro. I'm fucking, holy shit, I'm on a roll. I don't think I put an Asher War on. I did not think this through. Hold up, do I need the wheat blade? Because it's right here. Is this not, oh, the wheat stone, bro, my bad. Yo, check this out. Shit. Lost a little bit of time there, don't worry. It's pronounced wet. That sounds stupid. Wet blade? Yeah, wheat blade sounds cooler. Oh my god, we're so close. We're so close to getting laid. I can already
Maybe
hear the
when-
Redditors being,
Fuck yeah.
they're malding. They're getting angry that fucking Bernie over here is about to take their waifu. Oh my god.
why hate?
Pro fucking jumping, dude. About to get this world record real quick. Just gotta save some time on this suicide split. Shit. The timer wasn't supposed to stop. Fuck. You know what? I'm just gonna edit on the rest of the timer. Forget about it.
No, I'm not.
Forget about it. But I'll start it over again just for you guys. Yeah, no, that was actually part of the plan. Because if you really think about it, that timer was slowing me down. It was giving me this false perception of time. So I had to cut it off. And now you might notice, I'm going slightly faster now. Another secret speedrunning tech way you can
Yeah,
get up there
better.
that way. No, only a maidenless man like Bernie over here can. You have to really want it to get up here.
Yeah, it's true. No, it's not.
Like if you're not hungry enough for a maiden, it's not gonna work. You have to be starving like Bernie. This man is starving so bad, he literally turned blue from blue balls. Like, you have to be that down bad for it to
Yeah,
work.
definitely. I want to get fucking lit. Hi. Bernie though.
And that's time.
Oh.
That's world record. I don't know what it is. Probably like, 15 minutes, I'd say. Easy world record. She seems very amused. That's a good sign. We're going to be very happy together. Cracked. See, this is why I don't speedrun. It's just kind of greedy if I speedrun. I don't want to take all the records like that.
So it was thee who would become my lord.
Yes,
Perhaps
it is
I
thee.
needn't have warned thee.
And that, it's
Your
official
face
now. We
is
got
so
the sword.
shit though.
Even after getting
Fuck.
laid, he still looks soulless. Maybe, just maybe, getting laid was not what he needed in life. Maybe he needed true happiness.
What the fuck?
Will he ever get it? Probably not. What will make this man happy? Who knows? Anyways, who gives a fuck? Let's go. Let's run it back. Let's go.
Oh shit.
This time, grab the fucking finger. That's like minus a whole second right there. Sub 10? Quite possibly. There will be no fuck ups this time.
This
Wait
man
for
is
it.
rich.
Oh my god. That's a whole minus 11 seconds, bro. Jesus Christ.
Oh.
I did not get a free hit. Let's fucking go, dude. Holy shit. Let's see, will a squirrel fuck me up this time? No way.
Oh,
We just got this huge skip on the squirrels, bro. They didn't cock block me this time. It's free, dude. It's a free run. It's free as fuck. Every second that passes, Bernie here, he gets closer and closer to finally feeling the warmth of a woman. After all these years, he's turned blue from the blue balls, blue from the cold, and finally, he will be free. He will be set free by the warmth of Ronnie. Even though she's a doll made of porcelain and she's probably cold considering all her spells are ice, but we're just gonna pretend it's sad that she's not a real woman. Are you like real life Bernie? This is it. This is it right here. We saved a whole minute. God damn.
Wait.
Dude, my run!
Oh.
I actually died. My fucking speed run, dude. It's just not meant to be, bro. Like, I can't help Bernie out anymore. I'm sorry, bro. He's just clearly not meant to get laid. He's clearly just, like, bro, look how far back I am. Nah, dude, it's over. It's over, dude. It's over. I'm sorry, Bernie. Like, God, I feel so bad. Look at him. Look how fucking sad he is. Oh, God. I'm sorry, Bernie. It's just not meant to be, my man. Like, oh, God. Yo, he's gonna kill me, dude. He's like, I'm gonna wake up at night. I'm gonna wake up at, like, 3 in the morning. I'm gonna open my room door. He's gonna be standing out there. The most blue balls I've ever seen. And I'm gonna die. I can actually see the hate in his eyes. Like, if you look very closely, you can see the hatred just emanating from his eyeballs. It just goes to show that this is one of the hardest speedruns ever.
Hey.
Like, if you think all remembrances, 0 deaths, 0 hits, speedrun, you think that's hard? Try doing this.
Yo, when you look at how long you've spent creating your character and it says 3 hours. Oh, the jaw. That's me this whole time, dude. I mean, he looks kind of handsome. Come on now. He looks all right. It's all done. Let's go! Hey everyone, how you all doing? So just like everyone else, I've been playing Elden Ring. So in this video, I just wanted to talk to you about the game and show you some of the progress I've made so far. Let's start at the beginning. When you first start playing this game, it throws you into this open world, and the developers basically say, here you go, we're not telling you anything, have fun. That's a bit daunting at first because on one hand, it's like, oh, where should I go? But on the other hand, it allows you do your own thing and find your own way through the game. The first thing I think many people spot in this game is an enemy in the distance, right? He's pretty large, he's mounted on a horse, he's got a full body of armor, a giant weapon, a giant shield, and I'm thinking, yeah, I can probably take him. But I'm just stood there half naked with a woodcutting axe. There's a guy down there on a horse, looking kind of strong. I mean, he looks stronger than me. Anyway, I grabbed the first grace, and these are spots on the map where you can rest up and fast travel. And later on, you can also level up at these grace spots. Okay, so I decide to challenge the enemy in the horse. I think most people do. And as expected, I straight up got my ass beat. Oh shit, we're dead. We have to try again though, so I'm thinking, okay, we got one hit on him first try. What if I hold this axe in two hands? There we go, it should be easy now. Got my ass beat again. Badly, and then many more times. No! So after quite a few deaths, I realized it would be best to dodge this boss and do a little bit of exploration. Maybe start off with some smaller enemies. So I kill this dude, I give him the triple swing combo. And then I travel to the next grace spot, and this is where Melina shows up.
I am Melina.
And Melina is like, hey, I can be your maiden if you like, I'll give you a horse. And I'm like, hell yeah, let's do it, I want a horse. So Melina gives you this ring that allows you to summon a horse called Torrent. Also, if you shake her hand, she will level you up in exchange for ruins.
Let my hand rest upon you.
Silence, wench. I do not wish to be horny anymore.
In Elden Ring, you collect runes by killing mobs and looting. So what do we do next? We kill some mobs and loot. Double kill! And then I had a moment where I just stood still and I took in the view. Like, this game looks damn good. What's all this stuff in the air? Whoa, what's going on? Looks kind of pretty though. Anyway, we're doing a bit more slaying. I'm practicing my stealth like Solid Snake. I'm looting some armor, collecting more runes. I find a chest with a new sword, which I was really happy about because the axe I was using had absolutely zero range, and I actually got a bit frustrated with it. Dude, I freaking hate this axe. So I'm exploring more of the map, and this witch called Rena comes out of the blue, and she's like, hey, you got that horse? And I'm like, yeah, I got that horse. Haven't used it yet, but... So she gives me a spirit calling bell and lone wolf ashes. And this allows you to summon spirit wolves to fight for you. Okay, so a couple of hours in, we're a bit stronger. We got new armor, we got a new weapon, we got a horse, and we got some spirit wolves. So, you know the guy at the start that gave us a good beating? I decide to give him another try, you know? Here's how it went. Right, let's get on the horse. Oh wait, now we can use the wolves. What the heck? I don't think, will the wolves even help us versus this guy? Oh, this guy's easy with the horse now. Yeah, this guy's easy. Yeah, this guy's easy with the horse. Yo, this guy doesn't stand a chance now that we got the horse. What the heck? Oh, I was about to say I didn't even get hit. Oh! He fucking killed me. What the? Yo, the wolves. Oh, that's awesome. You're kind of blocking me though. Yo, look at them go, dude. They nipping on him. They munching him. Can the camera just like be good for 1 second? Thank you. Look, they're biting him, dude. Oh, I'm just gonna be greedy the whole time. Come on, you scared? You scared, bro? Shit. I'm the one running away. I'm just sussing out his movement. You never know when he's just gonna swing twice. See, there he goes. And 3 times? 2 more hits maybe, 2 more. Reading them like a book, dude. I'm reading every page. I'm almost at the end of the book. 1 more hit. Oh, stay. Was that, how many tries was that? 1? Enemy failed, mission success, we got him, and he drops the giant weapon he was wielding, the golden halberd. However, I needed to level up a lot more before I could even use it. Every weapon you find, you can't use. So we need 30 strength, bro. We're never, that's gonna be a while before we use that one. How many runes did we get from that fight? Let's spend it on strength. Yo, we're going up on the strength. Heck yeah. And now I start exploring again, and we managed to get to the first main boss. I was streaming all of this. Let me just show you how it went. This game, it's not about doing damage, right? It's not about maximizing your stats, right? It's about looking good. And straight up, when we wielding this sword with the one hand, yo, we look good, dude. feeling good. This game is so dark. I don't know, like half the time I'm just like, yeah, I wish I could see what was going on, but I've got that.
Oh god.
Fair dues, fair play, let's do it. I wouldn't mind some more runes. Bring it. Oh, get the wolves. Get them, boys. Get them, boys. Munch them. I kind of feel sorry for my wolves. Yo, they're munching his tootsies. Let's go. Well done. Well done. We should name them. This guy's getting the slam dunk right here. This guy's getting the slam dunk off the top ropes. There we go. Oh yeah, by the way, like straight up, guys, tell me I'm wrong. The trees straight up look like they're dancing. I like how you can just get on your horse and run through everything. Get off of that, boy. What do you think you're doing? I'm gonna get them all with one big swipe. Actually, wait, there's archers, aren't there? Where are the archers? What are they doing? They're walking backwards. They're confused. Yeah, there's like Hanzo mains up in here as well. You have to take out the Hanzo mains first. Go and shoot an arrow. See what happens. Shoot, go on. See what happens. That's what I thought. Oh, there he is. What's up, buddy? This is just a CPU, right? Like an NPC. Oh, who's this handsome guy? There's always a cutscene and then some like ugly boss speaking nonsense. And that's it. That's the game. Shall I get my wolves out? Yeah, shall I get my wolves out? No, we're doing quite big damage, to be honest. Roger's getting destroyed.
Oh.
Roger. Roger's like a spellcaster. He needs to get back, dude. What are you doing? Yo, we staggered him? Okay. Oh, he's got a massive hammer now. Phase 2. Phase 2, we get out the wolves. Oh no!
Oh, what is this?
Easy game. Easy. Oh, we died.
Almost.
Bro, what the hell? You can go from destroying to being very dead in like 2 seconds flat. Not even 2 seconds, like 0.2 seconds. Oh, he's got his hammer now. Now, do we get the wolves out? We get the wolves out when Roger dies. Oh no! No! Oh, we're good. He killed Roger. Okay,
oh,
my
shit.
bad. Should have like rolled 8 times, not sweat. Okay. I'm gonna give it one more try. Roger, get some distance, dude. You're playing like such a noob right now. Roger's dead. Oh, big, big. Can we get a big fat hit on this dude? Skate! Okay, one more hit, one more hit. One more hit. He's gonna shoot some freaking knives at me now. Do it. Do it, bro. As soon as I heal, he'll do it. I knew it! Bro, what is this? Okay, one more try. No, we're dead! Yeah, I saw it coming. Like, one more try. Go in, boys, go in!
How many tries?
Easy. Overwhelm him. Nice. Backstab, backstab. Nice! Good damage, good damage. Get him, boys, get him, boys! He's fighting on the edge, like, I'm just gonna run off the edge. Oh, this is a good run. Backstab. Here we go. Here we go. Good run. Roger's still going strong. This is it. No, no, no. Do your big attack. Do your big attack. That one. That one. You get one hit. Dude. So I ended the stream here, right? I wasn't doing so great, but I really wanted to kill the boss. So I made a plan. You know the big weapon we got from the guy on the horse? The golden halberd? I decided I was going to farm runes and level up a ton so that we can equip it to help us with the first main boss. I thought, you know, that will make the game a lot easier, right? So I went off on my quest. I was slaying enemies. I was looting chests. I get in a fight with this dark knight wielding a giant axe, and I actually got him pretty low, but, you know, he beat my ass in the end, and then I never found him again. I also came across this plant enemy, and I wanted to stab it, but it poisoned me, so I just ran away. I was fighting crabs, I was fighting wolves. I found this giant in a cave, and I beat his ass pretty good. This doesn't seem too hard for a rock. That wasn't too bad. I'm leveling up one by one. It's kind of slow. I find a magical doorway that I have no clue how to open. I'm trying to ride spirit turtles. Mission failed. I come by these enemies that start blasting magic attacks at me, right? And it's pretty cool. But we wipe them out with the spirit wolves. It's all good. And then I find this underground mini dungeon, right? And the first mob, I literally do the fattest swing over its head and into the ditch.
Oh, shit.
Like, I don't even know how, like, what? Anyway, there's another mini-boss here, and it's this three-headed statue cat that has some freaky animation, and it's kind of cool. The thing about this boss is that it had a bunch of little minions around it, so I just kept getting my ass nipped the whole time. It was really irritating. So at this point in the game, you know, I feel like my character is too weak for all these encounters, but, you know, having played more now, I realized I was just a massive noob. We're exploring again, and the horse is pretty amazing. It can double jump, just like Genji. So I hop up here, and I find this turtle shield. And I didn't know it yet, but this shield is amazing. So I'm riding my horse about the land, right? And I wonder, can he swim? The answer is no. Can he jump from a small mountaintop? Also no. Seriously though, like I wasn't even that high, what the? And I lost my runes. So now I'm in this underground room, right, with two enemies, and I realize my shield has a special blocking ability. And I just straight up go Ninja Turtle mode, man. Like, call me Donatello. I'm wrecking them. So I beat them both, and there's a chest. I loot it. I find a winged scythe. Can I equip it? Of course not. So up next, things are getting wacky. I come across this walking building thing, and I know what you're thinking.
Let's kill it.
Belsac. There's these headless spirit enemies nearby, and I'm just popping off now with my turtle shield. It's great. And you know, I'm collecting more runes. And then I go to inspect the giant Belsac, and every time this thing takes a step, it's like an explosion went off, you know? Standing near it, it almost knocks you off your feet. Now after all that, we actually have enough strength to wield the golden halberd. However, we actually also need more dexterity and faith. So we go exploring. Again, and across the world, there's these bloodstains everywhere, and if you touch them, it shows you how other players have died. This guy, he just straight up walks off the mountain. So, you know, it's good to know that I'm not the only one out here struggling in the wild. By the way, take a look at these enemies. Oh my god! Let's carry on. I climb this tower, and at the top, there's a message left by another player telling me that the chest is a trap. So what do? I open the damn chest. A puff of vape comes out, and I get teleported very far away. This place looks pretty cool, though. I start exploring, and there's this giant thing having a nap. So I wake him up, of course. And I realize, yeah, I'm definitely not supposed to be here. So I hide around the corner, should be safe, right? He gives me the fattest left hook I've ever seen in my life. Like it one-shots me. So, you know, screw it, I'm out of here. I fast travel back to the starting zone, and that's when I find this ugly squid ball. And I'm not joking, I slashed this thing over 100 times before it randomly healed back up. Oh my god. No, this is when I find another mini-boss, Erdtree Avatar. And this was probably the first fight in the entire game where I didn't feel completely useless. I finally managed to kill something that didn't knock me to the floor 12 times.
Mission complete.
And we got a bunch of runes for killing this enemy, but still not enough to wield the golden halberd. So I'm back to exploring for the 50th time. And I find this plate on the floor that teleports you to an alternate universe, another dimension, where a mini-boss shows up. But I'm improving, man. Like, my turtle is just too damn strong for this enemy. So I give him a spanking and he drops a new weapon. Can I wield the new weapon?
No.
Of course not. The grind doesn't stop here though. Up next I find a giant bear. Got destroyed. And then I come across the weirdest enemy yet. It's this spirit skeleton rowing a boat. And it's a pretty fun encounter. You know, it toots on a horn, it summons other skeletons. It starts trying to attack me with the actual boat. This enemy wasn't very dangerous. It was just a skeleton witch trying to chill out on our boat. And I kind of felt bad hacking away at it. So once we defeat this thing, it drops skeleton spirits to summon. And maybe these skeletons are better than the wolves. I don't know. So finally, we did it. We freaking, oh my, we did it. We had enough runes to level up and wield the golden halberd. So I teleport back to the Grace next to the first main boss, level up the last stat I need, and I equip the weapon. Okay, little disclaimer here. Listen, this is when I googled a weapon, right? And I found out that you can actually wield weapons without having the full amount of stats, as long as you hold it in 2 hands. This would have been good to know 5 hours ago, but it's okay, it's fine. Like, you have to level up your stats anyway. So I'm testing out my new weapon, it looks pretty cool. It is slow as hell though. I summon Roger, I traverse the mist. I summon my new skellies. And you know, there's a lot of people on YouTube explaining their complicated builds, right? My build is just to get an entire crew and beat the living crap out of them. So off we go. We finally beat Margit. That's it. I mean, we went completely overkill with the preparation, but you know, you gotta do what you gotta do. Let me know if you want to see more Elden Ring content. I'm gonna be streaming it over on Twitch. Leave a like, subscribe, all that good stuff, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Have a good day.
I want to see you. I did. Oh. I don't. Game that I play. I do it.
Watch this later. Now go play.
Cyberpunk 2077's count is absolutely insane.
Okay.
Sure,
That's
with
a-
the Edge Runners anime coming out and being top tier, you definitely expect a bump in player count, but what we're seeing here is completely unprecedented. The weekend following patch 1.6 for Cyberpunk, the player count bumped to nearly 30,000 concurrent players, which, you know, it was a new update. A lot of people are interested in checking out some of the new weapons, other new content that was added. For comparison, nearly 2 weeks after the Edge Runners anime released, the game is now at nearly 130,000 players. But the vast majority of these new players seemingly coming from the popularity and quality of
The anime
Edge Runners,
ends. It's
and
not
just bringing a
possible.
ton of new interest to Cyberpunk 2077. This chart should really show off how big of a deal this actually is. The last time this many people were playing Cyberpunk at the same time was literally release month. The month the game came out is the only other time they've had player counts in this range. There are more people playing Cyberpunk now than there were 1 month after the release of the game. And it's not like this is just returning players, as Cyberpunk 2077 was also briefly at the #1 top seller on Steam, which if you are interested in picking up the game, I do have a GOG affiliate code down below if you want to get it for yourself. But either way, these numbers blow past The Witcher 3's all-time high player count and even extends to Xbox, where Cyberpunk 2077 is currently the 32nd most played game on Xbox right now. And for comparison, for the better half of 2022, Cyberpunk wasn't even on this list of top 50 games, where now it finds itself securely in the middle of it. And overall, this boost in players has been a massive positive. Good reactions and even just positive tweets and vibes from CDPR employees themselves all over Twitter, with the official Cyberpunk account actually noting how, over the past week, 1 million people have played Cyberpunk each day. And I really just want to emphasize how insane this is. Like, if you roll the clock back to Cyberpunk's release, highlight some of the things being said, the articles coming out, and now as the game is almost 2 years old, it's hitting player numbers to be one of the most played games on Steam overall. That's just a crazy turnaround for this game and definitely a huge positive, which also does raise the question, what's next? In the future, very likely before the next expansion, patch 1.7 is coming to Cyberpunk Cyberpunk 2077, and CDPR has confirmed a variety of things that will be coming to the game in the future. Technically, they haven't explicitly confirmed if these will be in patch 1.7, but it seems like most of them will be. There's going to be a complete overhaul of the comp system, as well as vehicle-to-vehicle combat has been described. There's a mod right now which actually adds in both of these features, kind of a large coincidence, unless maybe there's more going on there. And being able to play the game with these features feels phenomenal. The cop system rework is pretty vague, but you have to imagine this will be around police spawning and how they can interact with you. Very likely what this will mean is now when you get wanted in Cyberpunk following this update, the police will actually show up in a car and likely have the ability to chase you. Technically, the wording of police chases has never been used, but when they describe vehicle-to-vehicle combat, which they have explicitly said, well, if somebody is shooting you from another vehicle, it does kind of imply that they can chase you in that vehicle, at least to some degree, but of course you having the ability to fire out of a vehicle yourself. And I think one of the things that will likely be added with this is not only police chases, but also the ability to have gang combat and gang chases. And it's even a bit of further evidence that we will have car chases in general. CDPR has actually added a couple of these as random encounters in the world with the past couple of updates. So you'll just sometimes find a police car chasing somebody. They describe how they'll also be improving the flow of melee gameplay, as well as there'll be more cyberware feeling cyberware. These two are definitely more on the vague side. Perhaps there'll be some new animations or finishers for melee combat overall, or just changing how it feels to run around with a melee weapon and slash. And I think we very likely could see some reworks and new additions with the existing cyberware, very similar to what they just did with the iconic weapons in Cyberpunk. A while ago, we got this big list of leaked DLCs for the game. This coming from an earlier build, and at this point, many of the things have come out, but there are a few left that have yet to release, and these likely will be added as free new content with that patch 1.7. There's one gig that is yet to release that will likely come at some point. There's something called M-Finish, which is likely melee finishers. That's why I mentioned it before, probably tied to that melee rework. New Game Plus is listed. New Game Plus was highly suspected to come with patch 1.6, but of course that didn't happen, but it seems hopeful that it is on the horizon based on this list. And then whatever DLC 10 monster is, we really just have no idea. As well, Cyberpunk will be getting a bit of a visual update with the new ray tracing overdrive mode. This will seemingly be exclusive to the new 4000 series NVIDIA cards, or at least the wording of this article makes me think that, but basically what the new ray tracing overdrive mode will be a even higher quality take on ray tracing in Cyberpunk, adding in a ton of new features like full resolution reflections and even the ability for light to bounce multiple times, not just once like it does right now. But it seems like both this and DLSS 3 will only be for the new cards, not on the 3000 series. This is very sad. But even beyond just new content in the form of updates and free DLC, Cyberpunk 2077 may be getting more anime. On the official Cyberpunk 2077 website, you can find this preview for an article that talks about what is new with the Edgerunners update. And it says, enjoy a selection of preem goodies taken straight from our very first anime, which the wording of first anime would imply that there is a second or even several other animes on the horizon, and that Edgerunners was just the first of these. And although I would love to just put on my tinfoil hat and say, okay, it's confirmed, more animes on the way, I think this could just be a weird wording. If you actually look at the website in other languages like Polish, and you know, CDPR is based in Poland, it actually says something different and doesn't reflect that first wording. But at the same time, during the recent earnings call, we got this incredibly interesting quote. We decided to develop one major expansion, which is going to take advantage of all of the capabilities of new gen consoles. Having said that, we're totally committed to developing the Cyberpunk IP further. Beyond the Cyberpunk expansion, we've invested a ton of time and effort into building this franchise, and we definitely want to build on top of what is there right now. New stories, new experiences, new content, not just in the video game format. In terms of expansions, there's going to just be one major expansion. However, there's going to be new stuff, which, okay, perhaps I am putting on my tinfoil hat yet again, but them saying there's going to be new stuff and also new stories not in the video game format, to me makes it totally sound like there's going to be some other kind of anime or movie or TV show or book or even a board game in the works. Some other Cyberpunk content seems to be coming. The way this is phrased and worded, I really think it's going to be something that's already a work in progress. Not just a pipe dream in the future, but something with concrete plans they have internally. Now, it could be Edgerunner Season 2, although I kind of doubt that, considering all of these quotes, even that first anime listing, are from before the release of Edgerunner Season 1, so it's not even like they had the data on whether that show would be a massive success like it was. But speaking of that expansion, we also do have one singular expansion on the way. I think the success of Edgerunners and this whole influx of new players has set up the Cyberpunk expansion to be massive, and I honestly think CDPR knows that. For basically all all of 2022, most of the developers at CDPR have been working on Phantom Liberty. It is the biggest team at CDPR right now, and after listening to basically all of their earnings calls for the past couple of years, I really get the impression they're trying to do things right with this expansion, not make the same mistakes they did with the launch of Cyberpunk. There's no concrete release date beyond 2023 right now, but I'm thinking they'll drop it in the first half, or perhaps even in the first quarter of 2023. Considering, you know, marketing has already started, and they've actually done relatively short marketing to release cycles. And two of the other reasons to really get excited for this expansion is, on one hand, there's actually been a ton of time in the oven. There's been a large team on this expansion for years now. And even further, they're dropping old gen consoles with this one. There's not going to be as much time dedicated and spent to trying to get things work on old gen consoles or making those optimizations. There still will, of course, be optimizing, but not to the same degree, and probably not as many hurdles in that category. So now this does mean the expansion and even some of the future updates won't be on Xbox One and PS4, but at the same time, if you just want this to be as ambitious as possible, add in a ton of new features, and be an awesome experience, I think this is a good sign. And to even extend off of that, you have to imagine Phantom Liberty will have its own fair share of new features. Not just story content and questing, as well as this new area with the combat zone, but also just general things added to Night City overall. But Phantom Liberty, for better or worse, is going to be the first and only expansion coming to this game. It seems like at some point in development, CDPR made the decision to just have one expansion for Cyberpunk. It seems like it'll definitely be a large one. When this news officially broke a few weeks ago, many fans were a bit disappointed. I mean, at this point, most people do want more Cyberpunk content, but now there's been a bit of hope that perhaps we can see some more new content as a result of the huge player influx. You may remember Cyberpunk 2077 also had a planned multiplayer mode. There are even mentions of it in the credits, and this too was cancelled. I've seen a lot of hope in the community for these things to get uncancelled or plans to change, but honestly, I don't think it's going to happen. I think there's really two major reasons for that. One, these are very much so macro decisions. The player count's going to wane off, but it's going to be a huge investment from CDPR to make a second expansion. And although it's not impossible for them to change their plans, it would take a lot for that to happen, as it would actually have a pretty drastic impact on the company. That really comes into the second reason. CDPR has confirmed that Cyberpunk 2077's first expansion, and really only expansion, will be their last project on Red Engine. This is the engine they've been using for their past several games, ever since The Witcher 2. After that, they're moving over to Unreal Engine 5. They're already starting pre-production on the next Witcher game on Unreal Engine 5, and it seems like their next few games will be on Unreal Engine. And they even describe how they're training some of their employees on it. So when it comes to something like a multiplayer mode, it makes next to no sense, because you're going to make multiplayer for the Red Engine and then immediately abandon the engine and move on from it. But even further, when it comes to another expansion, it's going to prolong your time spent on this, and it does have a larger change up and shift with their broader plans of this transition to Unreal. And to be frank, I'd love to be 100% wrong. CDPR has a strategy update in the coming weeks. We will likely be finding out a bit more about some of their future plans for their business overall. What this means, new games being talked about, we don't really know, but probably at least some clues as to what's next. And I, of course, would be very happy if they're like, oh yeah, we're working on another Cyberpunk expansion, we changed our minds. I just think that is incredibly unrealistic. Either way, that's a bit of a glimpse at what has been happening right now with Cyberpunk 2077. A lot of good stuff, and there's a lot of good stuff on the horizon, including some of my videos. I'm going to have some crazy mod videos in the next couple of days. With that said though, I encourage you guys to get subscribed for more Cyberpunk content. About that, I hope to see you all next time. Later. Cyberpunk 2077 modding has been booming as of late. With patch 1.6, of course, we saw the release of the official mod tools, that with RedMod. And it seems like this really stirred a whole additional wave of interest in modding Cyberpunk, and as a result, we've been getting a ton of new releases, definitely more new content for this game than we've seen in a long time. And of course, there's a whole new wave of new interest with the release of Edgerunner. So in this video, I'm going to show you some of the absolute best new mods you could download for Cyberpunk 2077. Let There Be Flight is easily one of the biggest and coolest mods to drop recently for Cyberpunk. What this will do is add in the ability for cars to fly in Cyberpunk. With the tap of a button, thrusters will appear on your car or motorcycle, and they're definitely hilariously large on motorcycles, but from there you're able to fly up and away out of Night City. This is an absolutely incredible mod. It might look familiar to some of you because it was actually in beta earlier this year, only just recently after patch 1.6 did it get a full and proper release, and the experience here is actually pretty simple. When you're driving just about any vehicle in Cyberpunk 2077, you can simply tap the E key and and it'll transition you into the flying mode for that vehicle. Your on-screen HUD will change a bit, you'll get some cool new thruster sounds, and even a variety of new controls. And the incredibly fun part about this mod is you can switch in and out of flying on a whim. So you can use this quite tactfully, whether it be to get away from a bunch of enemies that are attacking you, to simply skip over traffic or increase your speed dramatically, or even just plummet back down to Night City as you're mid-air and then land on a road and continue driving. But why Let There Be Flight is so awesome is you would just kind of assume that a flying mod or making flying vehicles in a video game that doesn't have them by default would be pretty janky, but Let There Be Flight has an insane amount of polish. The flying feels right. There are a variety of different modes you could choose from with each of the vehicles, so you could have things like the typical flying mode where you're able to stay pretty close to the ground or fly up higher if you want to, easy to control, or alternatively a hover mode where you are just hovering above the ground, staying pretty low. There's a drone mode where you can do all kinds of crazy acrobatics. I highly recommend using a controller with this one, and in reality, I'm sure as many of you attempt the drone mode, you'll probably just spin uncontrollably and crash somewhere because it is very hard to control at first. But overall, flying becomes a very practical and usable aspect of Cyberpunk. It's not just a gimmick, this is something that actually makes sense across a playthrough, and there's even things like it tracking the health of your vehicle. If your vehicle health gets too low, the car will actually play a warning sound that it's about to explode and you're able to eject from it. Overall, a truly incredible mod, and one that is way better than it has any right being. Another vehicle mod that I actually consider a must download as of now is Bike Overhaul. In Cyberpunk 2077 by default, I truly feel like the motorcycles are just kind of slightly different cars. There isn't nearly enough distinction there, and the typical strengths of motorcycles in the real world just don't really extend to the in-game world. Well, as you can probably imagine, Bike Overhaul will fix that. It'll rework the stats for the motorcycles you can unlock in Night City, and it'll make these feel truly unique and distinctive compared to what else is out there. Right off the bat, bikes in Cyberpunk will now have a higher top speed and a much higher acceleration. This puts them in a league of their own above most of the other cars in the game. And even handling gets a complete overhaul here. Bikes are going to be far more maneuverable and nimble, and this will be reflected visually. V will definitely lean more with this mod, and even things like the turning radii are much smaller with bikes now. Each of the bikes will actually get slightly different changes, so the various motorcycles you do have will have a bit of their own identity, some of them being faster, having a higher top speed, while others are a bit more maneuverable. As well as this mod will contain a variety of other miscellaneous changes, like separating rear and front braking, and even changes to the gearing on most of the motorcycles. Overall, to me, it's a really phenomenal mod that really changes up how you can experience motorcycles in Cyberpunk, with the most important part being that it really makes it feel like they have pros and cons and are distinctive to other cars in the game. In Cyberpunk by default, when you attack an enemy from afar with a silencer and you don't take them out in one shot, they'll immediately know your location and alert the other enemies around them to attack you, which does kind of make silencers just feel bad. What's the point of using a silencer if the enemy immediately knows where you are if you don't one-shot them? Well, silent silencers and throwing knives will change that. Now, when attacking enemies from afar with a silencer attached, they will merely go into an alert state and begin looking for you. This making it so you can use silencers to pick off entire groups of enemies as long as you don't get too close to them or they don't notice you more explicitly. And not getting too close to them is actually a part of this mod. There's a setting where you can determine a certain distance where your silencer will no longer be effective, and if you attack an enemy in that distance, they will immediately notice you and attack you, just like the vanilla behavior. And of course, this will also extend to throwing knives, and one of the cool features is you can independently configure the detection distance of each of these. So you can make it so you have to be fairly far away to effectively use silencers, but you can be very close and still remain in stealth with a throwing knife. Because, you know, whipping a knife through the air is relatively quiet. I don't think that makes much sound at all, although I admittedly have never tested that. But of course, let's not kid ourselves. The vast majority of you are watching this video because you just watched Cyberpunk Edgerunners and now you're infatuated with Cyberpunk 2077, which is definitely a good thing. But modders are also infatuated with Edgerunners, and as a result, we've gotten a variety of new Edgerunners mods for the game. You'll now be able to get both the Lucy Edgerunners jacket and Lucy Edgerunners suit in-game. These are technically two completely separate clothing pieces that are added, and these are completely custom made and modeled for Cyberpunk based off the anime. Each of these is going to have 4 different variants that will have slightly different visuals, and although it's not the complete Lucy outfit, it is pretty nice to have these as standalone options if you want to customize your character a bit further, or even use these two pieces with other things in the game. And it's nice that this is a complete completely new item in Cyberpunk 2077. For a long time, many of these outfit mods were actually replacing other pieces of clothing, but this one doesn't. It may not seem like the biggest deal to some of you, but it's definitely a pretty big milestone that we're at the point in Cyberpunk mods where you could add in completely new items without having to replace anything. Although be warned that both of these are female only, at least for right now, as you could probably imagine. But perhaps even a bit more useful is Edgerunner's radio. This will add in a completely new radio station that you could use in any vehicle, and it will basically just play the tracks from the Edgerunners anime. This will contain 13 tracks in total, and I'm not going to actually play them because copyright. And overall, just a really handy mod. Many of these tracks sound absolutely incredible. It's nice to have a bit more diversity in the in-game radio, which already has a ton of great choices. Then we do have Edgerunners Locations Additions. This mod is awesome if you actually did watch the anime. It's going to make some small edits to a variety of the locations around Night City that also appeared in Edgerunners to make them more accurate to how they appeared in the anime. So doing some simple things like changing the lighting for David's Ripperdoc or adding in some misc props around some of the other notable locations to basically be identical to how they appeared in the anime. It's a relatively minor mod overall, but one of those things that just feels cool. But speaking of things that are cool, we also do have Junk in the Trunk. This is going to be a pretty handy mod that will allow you to edit your outfits and use the entire new wardrobe feature just from your vehicle's trunk. Or I guess in this case, my vehicle's front. Typically, you can only actually create new outfits by returning to your apartment, and of course, this is going to make it so you could do that more properly on the go, just by going to one of your vehicles. It definitely makes this more functional overall. I understand why CDPR restricted it to apartments originally. I don't know, there are some mods that will unlock being able to edit outfits anywhere. I feel like this is a nice hybrid. In a somewhat similar vein, we also do have scrap your items to obtain crafting recipes. This is going to add in that familiar RPG mechanic where to learn how to craft an item, all you need to do is scrap it. And in Cyberpunk, this is actually going to apply to nearly all of the items in the game outside of iconic ones. The obvious example is being things like weapons or clothing. If you want to craft some of the new weapons added in with the recent update, now you just scrap them and you'll unlock their crafting recipes immediately. But it extends to a whole range of other things like grenades, some of the different mods you can get, or even medical items. And the way it works is once you disassemble an item, you'll unlock that rarity of it as a crafting recipe. So for example, I disassemble a MaxDoc Mark III, and then I could craft MaxDoc Mark IIIs, even though I could already do Mark 1s and 2s and unlock the 3 version for me. This of course is definitely getting a bit more into the cheaty side. It's going to make it easier to unlock crafting recipes overall. Typically you're going to have to do this via search and just kind of playing the game naturally and hoping you stumble upon things. But many of us have played Cyberpunk numerous times and we just don't want to deal with that. We want to get Armadillo and Crunch early game and have some of our favorite outfits right off the bat. A great tandem mod to this is going to be instant crafting and disassembling, which will make it so things will be created or deleted with one simple tap. Typically in game, many things will require a press and hold to make them, which can get incredibly tedious. This will make it instant and make it so you could burn through or craft many things all at once. There have been several mods to add in this functionality. Many were actually outdated at this point, so this is one of the newer things that does work on patch 1.6. Simple Untracked Quest is also a mod that there's other renditions of, but this is one of the most convenient and simple. It'll make it so you're able to untrack any quest simply by right-clicking it in-game. If you're at the end game, you have probably seen this quest for a lot of hours of your playtime, but now to stop staring at this quest, all you're going to have to do is either open up your journal and right click it, or even just go onto the map and right click it and it will untrack that so you can have this clear beauty. It's really simple. I think this actually has a bit simpler functionality than some of the other mods out there, but I like that. I don't think that's a bad thing. There's no hotkeys required. This one just works out of the box, and of course you can simply retrack that quest whenever you want to. But does it ever bother you that in Cyberpunk 2077 so many other people in Night City have these awesome cyber arms equipped, but V could never really achieve anything quite like that? Well, Cyber Arms Collection is going to implement that feature, at least for the female characters out there. Now you'll be able to jump on your computer in V's apartment and preview and purchase a whole array of different cyberarm options. There'll be all kinds of different styles here. Functionally, they're all pretty much exactly the same. This is just going to be a visual change to your character, but you do have a nice range of different appearances you can choose with these. And the way it'll work is after you pick one that you do like, you could preview it on your character and then purchase it, and then you simply equip it as an outfit, and some of your other clothes will layer atop of it. As I mentioned earlier, as of right now, this only works for female characters, but still a really handy implementation, even with that limitation, and it can make for some pretty nice pictures or just an overall change up to how your character looks. Although one mod that is an actual replacer is the Grimlock Customs FN57. This is a pretty interesting mod, and actually one of the first weapon mods I have ever covered for Cyberpunk. It's going to add in 2 new weapons. It'll replace the Unity pistol with the FN57. The 57, of course, being a real-world item that you can get. Some of you may actually have this, and now this mod will simply add it into Cyberpunk 2077. And it honestly looks and feels oddly at home here. It kind of matches up with some of the other pistol styles you could find in Cyberpunk, but this also does add in its own Cyberpunk real-world crossover version, as the Liberty weapon will be replaced with the Grimlock Customs FN57. This kind of being a crossover between a real-world 57 and the visuals of the Liberty pistol in-game. Overall, it's a pretty simple mod. Obviously, it's a bit unfortunate that it is a replacer, but if you've played enough of Cyberpunk, you're probably bored of some of the vanilla weapons anyway. And for me, it is just cool to start seeing some weapon mods and even some custom weapon mods getting added to the game. We've had a lot of melee options out there already, but not many ranged ones, and I feel like this is one of the better choices that has come out recently. But if you want to make Night City a bit prettier, we also do have Water 2077. By default, Night City's water is green, murky, and just very clearly polluted. Water 2077 will clean things up, making the water in Night City more notably blue and also just look genuinely swimmable. So now, is this lore friendly? No, absolutely not. But at the same time, it doesn't really matter because you're downloading a mod for a video game, and I think overall the bluer water does have a better look with Night City, especially if you're taking landscape screenshots or just overall scanning or flying around the city. But then we also do have auto loot for those of you sick of actually playing the game. What it'll do is make it so you can hit a hotkey and loot all of the corpses around you. You're able to set how wide this radius is, so if you don't want it to be too overpowered or too buggy. And I feel like this is one of those mods where for some of you you're going to be like, absolutely, I need this in my game. For some others you're like, why would you do, doesn't it defeat the purpose of the game? Some people don't like running up to each body to loot them and either just ignore it or don't bother. Some other people enjoy that. They think that's a quintessential part of the game. And well, this mod will kind of take that away if you don't want to deal with it the vast majority of the time. Either way though, those are 15 relatively new mods for Cyberpunk 2077 that will upgrade or enhance certain aspects of the game and even adding some new features. I have a lot more Cyberpunk content coming. If you guys do want to get subscribed, there should be several new videos this week looking at other mods, looking at some secrets for the game, and even some hidden features that you probably don't know about. Cyberpunk mods are only going to continue to grow and get better and better. And at the current rate, we've been getting an absolute flood of new mod content, including a ton of updates for our older mods that I'll also be highlighting. So definitely stay tuned for what is next. But with that said, as always, again, I thank you all for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed this one. And with that, I hope to see you all next time. Later.
Bye. Oh, otherwise.
What's up guys, it's Endymion, and today I wanted to do something a little different and talk about the response to Elden Ring from the perspective of Western game developers, and why something like Elden Ring was both received so well by fans and loathed by developers alike. Of course, don't bully or attack any developers for their comments. I don't need corporate SWAT members barrel rolling through my window in the middle of the night. And also, I'm not saying Western devs are incompetent. Watch till the end so this all makes sense. Now let's begin talking about how Elden Ring pissed off an entire continent of game developers. So you probably saw on game websites or Twitter the response of some game developers saying that Elden Ring's success was not earned because it had problems from PC stability, mysterious quest design, and game UI, but it goes deeper than that, and I'm just gonna say it straight. Game developers are mad about Elden Ring's success because it challenges and overcomes basically every fundamental aspect of game design Western game developers have been using as crutches for years. Let me explain. Firstly, let's look at the Horizon games. They're good games, I got the platinum for both of them, but the Horizon series is the equivalent of the Bad Luck Brians of game release windows at this point. Zero Dawn released within the same 2-week time frame as Breath of the Wild, and now it happened again with Forbidden West releasing a mere week before Elden Ring came and stole all the thunder again. I played Forbidden West when it came out, and like many, I abandoned the game as soon as From Software's latest Epic released. And 125 hours within the lands between, along with the platinum trophy for it, I finished my first run of Elden Ring, and I went back to Horizon, and oof, yeah. The problem with Western-made is they have this almost homogenized feel to them all. The absolute flood of open world experiences paired with quest markers and hand holding combined with the addition of microtransaction stores, with cosmetics for games that are single player mostly, like any Ubisoft title ever basically under the sun, gets tiring to say the least. These games all feel the same, whether it's from Ubisoft, Guerrilla, or whoever else. The Western taint of modern game design has permeated into basically every modern game ever, and the influence of these philosophies even at times influence games made in Asian markets like Ghostwire Tokyo, which I'll talk about later in the video because that game is yikes. Anyway, the constant game design philosophies of Western game devs and their need to flood the player with quest markers, hand-holding, telling the player what something in the distance is before they even reach it and discover it, I'm looking at you, Valhalla, just makes these games feel less like adventures you're embarking on and more like Disneyland tours, where you can feel the hand of Western devs on your shoulder going, look at that quest marker, there's something there and you'll get an item from it. It removes all sense of discovery, and Elden Ring pisses them off for a multitude of reasons that I will now list for you. First off, Elden Ring doesn't hold your hand. Okay, sure, you can see little streams of golden light pointing in a direction, but it's not a literal dotted line on the map or an arrow pointing you where to go constantly like you're a sheep who left its pen. Secondly, and this is one of my major gripes with Western games, is there never feels like there's any surprises or sense of danger in their worlds. How many times have you felt like you're completely zoning out, moving from quest marker to marker in an Assassin's Creed game or whatever, knowing that when an enemy jumps out at you, you can just quickly delete the bad guys so you can resume your quest marker cleanup? Whereas in Elden Ring, I can be minding my own business when a literal dragon can land out of nowhere and now I gotta fight for my life or become a human shish kebab. There's just no sense of danger in most open world games. Hell, even Skyrim made dragons feel formulaic and boring after the third encounter. What should be an amazing spectacle quickly devolves into, come down here so I can kill you already, you're wasting my time with all your wing flapping. And third, too many of these open world games go for quantity over quality in basically every regard. Like, I couldn't tell you what any of the side quests in Valhalla or Watch Dogs were about. I even can't remember any of the side quests really in Horizon Forbidden West or Zero Dawn either. It's not that Horizon's quests suck, they just aren't super memorable in my opinion. Sure, they look nice and on a technical level Horizon is amazing, but graphics aren't everything to someone like me. Elden Ring's graphics are good, but they're nothing compared to Horizon's, and yet Elden Ring's world feels more dire, interesting, and vast than Horizon's regardless. Thankfully, we have games with actual great quests like The Witcher 3 or the Mass Effect trilogy and even Cyberpunk 2077 with some very memorable quests that I'll remember for years, like this one where I'm nailing a guy to a cross while a film crew captures it all. The reason why Elden Ring annoys Western devs so much is because it was a success and did better than anything released by Western developers without relying on the same crutches they do when making games. Elden Ring has quests, but they're not clear-cut. You're not told to go somewhere to meet someone, you just discover them randomly when exploring. There isn't a bunch of markers on the map predetermining what you're going to discover before you get there. Whereas in Assassin's Creed, the game's compass not only tells you what is what in your vicinity, but even color codes the icons so you know exactly what kind of content you'll discover when you reach the marker. That ruins all the sense of exploration and discovery because there's nothing to find out because you basically already know. Whereas in Elden Ring, you just go and ride your horse and, oh look, it's a cave, wonder what could be in there. Oh my god. Elden Ring works because it rejects the Western game design philosophy, and that's great. Unfortunately, we do have game developers thinking they need to mold their visions to meet Western audiences, and the results are usually never good. Look at Ghostwire Tokyo. When the game embraces its Japanese roots with the spooky horror elements and ghastly enemy designs, the game feels unique. But then you quickly realize it's a Ubisoft-like game with an open world full of icons and things to collect. And what could have been an amazing 15-hour story-driven experience becomes a 40-hour collectathon where you feel more like you're cleaning up the map than you are experiencing a solid game, and it's a shame. I should say that not all Western-made games are bad. There's even games I really enjoy made by these developers, like Destiny 2, for example. Even though Destiny 2 features a lot of Western game philosophies, they at least offer varieties in terms of activities, builds to chase, and have a solid gameplay foundation that feels amazing to play. But I think Destiny 2 is an anomaly when it comes to live service in Western main games, but hey, that's Bungie for you. Not everybody can do what they do, I guess. But these design philosophies are clearly not just affecting Western games, as we can see Japan feel the push to mimic these ideas with development teams like Platinum Games making huge misses like Babylon's Fall, which could have been an amazing 20-hour experience of hack and slash gameplay with fun replay value, but instead made it into a weird live service game that's designed so players can come back to play more and live in their world or whatever. And it backfired because Babylon's Fall at one point had one person playing the game on Steam. I'm not even kidding about this. This is what happens when Japanese developers don't do what they're good at and try to emulate Western games. It basically never works. From Software thankfully had the foresight and creative way to make Elden Ring into what they wanted it to be. Had they chased trends, it would have been an always online, live in our world and all that other BS kind of game. But thankfully it isn't, and the fact you can gain different sets of armor and hordes of weapons and spells makes the game feel like an anomaly in an era of gaming where subscription services and product tie-ins seems to take priority over anything else. I mean, the fact From Software made Elden Ring so you don't even have to face the majority of the bosses or engage with like 80% of the content in the game in order to finish it probably confuses Western devs even more. How could From Software put all that effort into areas like Haligtree and bosses like Millennia or the entire region of Caelid and General Radahn and have literally none of it be required to beat the game? It's simple. From Software respects the player's time and just offers quality content because they believe in it, and that angers the West. And you know, even though developers are angry at Elden Ring's success, that those same developers will end up mimicking the design philosophies of Elden Ring in their future games regardless. I'm actually very interested to see what Horizon 3 will look like, or the next big open Assassin's Creed game in a post-Elden Ring world. Mark my words, the influence and effect that Elden Ring has had on the gaming industry will be vast, and like Breath of the Wild or The Witcher 3 before it, Western developers will be looking to it for inspiration for years to come, whether they want to or not. Because this Western design philosophy when it comes to games sometimes even dates itself before games even release. Just look at the upcoming Gotham Knights, which is basically a game made with every single Western design idea in the book. We got power levels, we got loot, we got co-op, enemies with ranks to their health, yet the gameplay just looks like a worse version of Batman Arkham Knight, a game that came out in 2015, mind you. This problem of homogenizing genres and gameplay ideas stems from not only the Western game dev making process, but the industry as a whole. Games are stupid expensive to make, and they take a lot of time to develop. I mean, Elden Ring took over 5 years to make, and it's probably impossible for From Software to capitalize on the hype of it besides a DLC, with a full-blown sequel being at least 3 years away at the earliest, I'd say. So while it makes sense that Western devs stick to what they think works because it's safe, it also tends to make subsequent releases not as interesting because we already know what to expect before we even play it. I really hope the success of Elden Ring not only shakes up the industry, but gives a strong message to the people in charge of making the actual big decisions to maybe let their developers breathe and actually make something unique once in a while. I mean, although a little generic, Sony did take a bet with Guerrilla, who was known for Killzone, and they ended up making Horizon, so just let devs stretch their creativity. We don't need more live service games, and we don't need Japanese developers feeling like they have to make games in a way that doesn't cater to their strengths, like Ghostwire Tokyo or Babylon's Fall, just so that they can slap open world or live service on the box and hope for sales. We don't need more open world games, we don't need more item shops and whatever, we need creativity and new ideas. We need more games to look at the behemoth that is the gaming industry like Elden Ring has and stand defiant and show that it's actually doable to be both engaging, difficult, and profitable without sacrificing the integrity of a studio. Because when a studio is forced into making something they're not comfortable with, that's how you end up with stuff like Babylon's Fall and the Avengers. It's not just unsustainable, but stupid in the long run. Play to the strengths and stop trying to pigeonhole every game into a certain archetype to fit trends. We need more games to follow in the example of Elden Ring and stand out. That's how the industry will evolve and grow. I'm not saying Western devs are incompetent, far from it, but there is a sickness in the industry and it needs to be addressed before every game franchise we love turns into live services like the upcoming Assassin's Creed Infinity or the newly announced Marvel microtransaction fest like Marvel Snap and so on. We need innovation or it will mark the death of the industry, especially in terms of creativity. And that's why Western devs are mad about Elden Ring's success. Because not only does it do away with a lot of the things they learned, but it succeeded in being original when so many devs have their hands tied when it comes to making games in the first place. We need more games to push the industry forward, just like Elden Ring has, and that's why Western devs are so mad about the success of Elden Ring. Oh, okay, well, that was a bit different of a video, but what do you think of Elden Ring's success? Is it warranted? Are Western devs correct in their opinions? Let me know in the comments. And as always, if you like what you saw, maybe subscribe and like the video to give my life meaning. Thanks to my patrons for all their support, and I'm Endymion, back to Cyberpunk I go. See you in the next one.
So what are things? Some good. But game is good. I'm gonna position. So thank you guys for watching. Yeah. See you on YouTube. Bye.